What you fear is ultimately what you will obey. If you're in fear of man, what are you going to do? You're going to procrastinate on what the Lord has called you to do because you're so fearful of what people think, what they're going to say, how you will be treated once you start enacting on this crazy adventure that the Lord wants you to follow. If you're in fear of the career that you're in, you're going to do anything to keep that career, and you're going to be in a constant state of being stagnant because you don't want to leave this career because you're so fearful that once this career leaves you, nothing else is going to be there because you're so acclimated to this. But the Lord knew the second that you got this job that you're going to lose this job. The Lord knew even before that you're going to lose this job. So it comes down to this. It comes down to, what are we fearing? Are we fearing man or are we fearing God? Because look at the repentance of Saul and David. They're both kings. They're both in charge of Israel at one point in time. They didn't roll up both at the same time, but at one point in time, they both had fell into sin and they were kings, right? And we can see the repentance of both of them. Saul, he falls into sin due to what? His fear of man. And he even says this, I have fallen into sin due to my obedience to man because I have feared them. Because he feared man, he fell into sin. And when he repents, it's in a way that's repenting so he doesn't lose what the Lord had given him. He says, honor me now, even though I fall into sin. Honor me now. Continue to hold me in honor. Continue to hold me in the authority you have given me. Essentially what Saul is saying. Again, turn again to me. Saying, come here, Lord, come back to me. But in reality, he fell into sin. What does sin do? It separates us from God. I should go back to God instead of telling God to turn again to me. And we can see this. And again with David. David's repentance is a David with pure intention, as almost as the forgiving servant. The forgiving servant. And we can see how David is in a place where he has fallen into sin due to just his disobedience, due to his own flesh, and he has fallen. And what does he do? He pleads to the Lord. He says, Lord, I have sinned against thee and thee alone, recognizing that he has not sinned against the thing that he has been given, against man, against the world. He has sinned against God, and he recognizes this. And it's in a way where he's essentially just pleading for the Lord to stay with him. He doesn't care if everything that the Lord has given him has gone away or if it's taken away. The only thing he cares about is that the Lord's presence is still there with him, and he comes back to the Lord in a place of humility. So I want you to ask yourself, what are you fearing? Because again, what you fear is what you will obey. And I can speak in my own life. I was a person who feared my career. I feared my career to a point where I was fearful of leaving this career because I thought I was never going to get anything better than this, because I was really young and had this really high rank in a company. But having this fear within me did what? It hindered my relationship with Christ. It held me in a way where I was like, please don't take it away, Lord. And essentially begging the Lord not to take away the thing that was taking me away from him. So again, what you fear is what you will obey. And if you're going to fear something, because everybody fears something, fear God. Not in an abusive, toxic relationship, but fear him in a reverence fear, a fear of his authority and recognizing his authority. And when we have this, we start to gain wisdom. When we have this, we start to bear fruit. When we have this, we take the Lord more seriously. And again, for the third time, whatever you fear is what you will obey.